And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Monday, November 26th. I am the host for today's program, Paul Demain, and many of the stories we read here can also be found at our websites, IndianCountryNews.com or IndianCountryTV.com. And here are some of those news stories for the day. A kindergarten class at the Rosebud Reservation is donating their loose change to an effort to secure land in the Black Hills that tribal members consider sacred. The group of 19 students from Rosebud Elementary collected close to $50 over a 2-week period and donated it to the Rosebud Sioux tribe. Teacher Oyate Burnett says she wants to teach the kids to take initiatives. The kids presented the money to the tribal council during a meeting last week. Tribes of the Great Sioux Nation must raise $9 million by the end of this month to buy the land in the Black Hills. They have raised nearly $7 million so far. The land the tribes call Peshla is important to their creation stories. A Chippewa Tribal Commission has until midweek to respond to state wildlife officials' demand to block tribal hunters from going after deer at night. The Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission on November 21st authorized tribal hunters to hunt deer after dark across much of northern Wisconsin beginning on Monday night, November 26th. The Department of Natural Resources says night deer hunting is too dangerous, though they authorized a night wolf hunting provision early this year for non-tribal hunters. The agency asked U.S. District Judge Barbara Crabb to block the authorization, triggering an automatic 5-day period for the commission to respond. That makes November 28th the deadline. DNR officials say they hope Crabb will schedule a hearing before then. They've asked tribal leaders not to issue any night hunting permits until the matter is settled, but the Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission spokesman says nighttime hunting is justified and will go ahead. The Oneida Nation of Wisconsin says that 25 buffalo that died earlier this year in Outagamie County apparently died of dehydration. Tribal officials say the herd's water supply got shut off, but they're not sure exactly how that happened. The tribe says one employee was disciplined for not following policy to check on the herd on a regular basis. A WLUK-TV report says a lock has since been placed on the current pump to prevent it from being turned off again. The chairman of the 3 affiliated tribes says a Utah firm has been selected to engineer and build the first phase of the tribe's planned $400 million oil refinery. Tribal Chairman Tex Hall says Salt Lake City-based Chemex Inc. was selected from a pool of companies. The tribe says construction should start next spring on the refinery, which would be the first one built in the United States in more than 30 years. Hall said the tribe is financing the project with a bond sale. He says it will process about 20,000 barrels of oil each day from North Dakota's booming oil patch. Hall says it's the biggest economic project in the history of the 3 affiliated tribes. A man who was beaten allegedly by several bouncers at a violent Farmington nightclub is suing the bar over claims that its bouncers have a pattern of assaulting American Indians. The Farmington Daily Times reports that Dustin Curley and his wife Veronica filed a lawsuit against the Top Deck nightclub, a bar with a history of violence in that community. The lawsuit stems from a St. Patrick's Day beating that left Dustin Curley, a Navajo, with a broken nasal bone and several severe injuries to an eye. According to the lawsuit, Curley was beaten by bouncers after trying to break up an argument. His attorney, Christian Hatfield, said Curley lost most of his vision in his right eye from the fight. The largest solar power plant on tribal lands in the United States is expected to go online in southern Nevada's desert in 2016 under a new 25-year, $1.6 billion deal approved by the Los Angeles City Council to buy solar power produced on the Moapa River Indian Reservation. The 250-megawatt solar farm 30 miles northeast of Las Vegas will generate enough electricity for 118,000 homes more than 280 miles away in Los Angeles. William Anderson, chairman of the Paiute Band, said that 910,000 photovoltaic panels will be built on 2,000 acres on the 71,680-acre reservation. We're going to have a solar farm and jobs for our people, he said about the 320 members of the band. And that's going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you for joining with us and come back again soon.